Today we are going to make gluten-free coffee chocolate chip layer bars. Does that not sound delicious? There's nothing quite like coffee in baked goods. So let's get started. We are starting with 2 sticks of salted butter, and we are going to cream the butter together with 1 cup of packed brown sugar. All right, so I already have my butter. Now I'm adding the brown sugar, and we're going to cream it for about 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, so since this is a gluten-free recipe, we have to add a little bit of extra moisture. So I am going to add 1 tablespoon of sour cream to this recipe. Always give everything a really good scrape, not just from the sides, but from the bottom as well. All right, that looks really good. So I am going to prepare my pan. This is a 9 by 13 baking dish. My oven is already preheated to 350. So here's a trick. So I have these parchment paper sheets. I have gone in with a scissor and cut around the edges about 2 to 3 slits per side. And then I am going to just lightly spray the bottom of the baking dish with cooking spray. And then I'm going to add my pre-cut parchment paper sheet, and it's going to fit in there and stick to the bottom and not pop back out before I add my dough. All right, so let's go ahead and add the rest of our ingredients to the creamed mixture. So what we are going to do is we are going to add 2 cups of gluten-free flour, which I have here. I have that gluten-free 1-to-1 flour with the xanthan gum already added. In here, I have a 1/2 teaspoon of salt and a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder already in there. I have also got the Nespresso Gold instant coffee powder. That's what I'm adding to my recipe. I have 2.5 tablespoons of that right here. I've got 1 full heaping cup of mini chocolate chips and some vanilla. So we are going to go ahead and add all of this into the mixture. I'm going to let you take a look at what we've got here. And it does smell delicious. And now I am going to take it and pour it into my prepared 9 by 13 baking dish. I'm not really going to pour it, but I will scoop it in there. Now, after I scoop this dough into the baking dish, I am going to let it rest for about 15 minutes. And I like to do that anytime I bake anything that's gluten-free with a 1-to-1 gluten-free flour because it allows the moisture that's added into the recipe moisten the dough. So the longer you allow it to sit, the moister the dough will get. All right. I am going to flatten this into my dish, let it sit for 15 minutes, and then I'm going to pop it into my preheated oven. If you find that your dough is sticking to the spatula and you're not able to flatten it out, I like to spray it with a little bit of cooking spray, and voila. It's like magic. Okay, I've got the cookies in the oven, and now I am going to prepare the topping, which consists of 2 tablespoons of salted butter, which I'm melting in the pot, 1 can of sweetened condensed milk, and then after that cooks together and everything is all cohesive, I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, which I have my homemade vanilla extract, just in case you're wondering why it's in this cute little bottle. That's why. Okay, so the cookie bars are baked, and now I am going to take the sweetened condensed milk mixture that we made, and I'm going to pour it over the top, and then I'm going to pop it back into the oven. I did allow it to cool for about 10 minutes before adding this mixture on top just to make sure that the cookie bar was firm enough to withhold. All right, now we're going to put it back into the oven. Well, I am back with the finished cookie bars, and I have cut a piece and having a taste. I have to say, they're like chewy, almost like a brownie. It's like a mixture between a brownie and shortbread. It's really good. Now, honestly, I got this recipe from Pinterest and I altered it to make it gluten-free. But I think I would have done without the sweetened condensed milk on top. I think I would have preferred to do like a coffee icing drizzle. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not bad. But I think next time when I make these again, that's what I'm going to do. All right, let me show you a piece. Here I come. And I did sprinkle some sea salt on top. Haha, right? It looks just like that, a mix between a brownie and shortbread. They're still a little warm, but once they cool, they're gonna firm up even more. I definitely love the recipe. It was good. I will make it again. The only thing I'll do differently next time is do the icing instead of the sweetened condensed milk. So thank you so much for being here with me. I would love for you to subscribe and like my videos, even click the little bell so that you get notified every time I share a post. Wishing you all happy baking.